most honorable jury of judges, and all worthy listeners. I, Adityan Bharadwaj, am going to give my stand before you, opposing the motion of today's debate. Homeschooling is better than traditional schooling, that is, online versus face to face education. Modern technology has infiltrated the education sector, and as a result, many schools and colleges now prefer taking online classes as opposed to attending the traditional regular classes due to the schools being closed during the lockdown. The arrangement of online classes is quite new to Indian education system as it was not anticipated before the terror of COVID-19. Therefore, most parents consider it as a problem for them as it is quite expensive and the responsibility of monitoring their child's progress has been piled onto them. The government of Karnataka banned online teaching up to some classes. In order to find an answer to such an action of government of Karnataka, we need to seek answer to this question. Has government of Karnataka given valid reason for banning online classes? The main reason stated by government of Karnataka's education minister Mr. Suresh Kumar was that online classes affects the mental well-being of a student. It is in line with a report submitted by National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences NIMHANS, which states that virtual classes are not ideal for students below the age of 6 and the recommended screen time is just 1 hour. There are reports that internet exposure is harmful for children and puts them at the risk of online grooming. Moreover, excessive screen time weakens the eye's adaptation power and hampers the concentration ability of a developing student. The business of lens maker and spec sellers has increased remarkably during the lockdown. Schools make an all-round development in a child and transfers them into a versatile adolescent and a responsible citizen of a country. Now, children are not able to inculcate interpersonal skills in them. The digital divide, a major issue in India, seems to be a valid reason to ban the online education. Though we call the present generation as the digital natives, most of us do not know what the term actually means because they do not have the experience of being familiar with the digital systems. Education should promote equality and foster unity among all the students. Unfortunately, it is causing a divide between the students and alienates the disadvantaged. The academicians had no prior training for such circumstances. Resultantly, they feel difficulty in integrating technology into the teaching. There is no scope for individual attention online, as the teacher can hardly see a child's body language clearly. I will give you an example of my mother, who is a teacher by profession. Whenever she asks a tricky question from a student, he or she either leaves the class meeting or remains muted. When asked later for the reason of doing so, he or she answers, "Ma'am, there was some network issue on my side." Why are education institutions keen on online teaching? Many private institutions say they can push ahead with their academic calendar. Is that the only reason? No, not at all. Some schools see it as an opportunity to collect a huge amount of money from the parents in the name of online classes, but do not seem to be concerned about the quality of education they are providing. My fellow opponent just pointed out that internet is available to the remotest areas of the country as it is a digital era. But in reality, 46% of students have no accessibility to the internet at all. There are less than 10% of schools who have a provision for cybersecurity aids to prevent fraudulent interception of the hackers. The expenses on data packs has increased drastically during the lockdown period. In addition to it, the school fees hasn't reduced by even a single penny. This, in my opinion, is quite burdensome on the pocket of a middle class man. All state government should issue clear and detailed guidelines about the online classes, specifying the screen time to be spent by the different age groups of students. The online classes will flourish in the near future, but cannot supersede the importance of offline education. With this, I rest my case.